Hey, hello, we're live. 7 o'clock. Do you know where your friends are? I know they're all coming to be on my live tonight. So, tonight, it's nice. The sun is setting later. So that's really good news. We are going to have so much fun tonight. I have a brand new attitude about what we're going to talk about tonight. I brought it up because sometimes when we're doing things, we forget about who we really are. And sometimes when we're with others, we forget who we really are. So tonight we're going to find out who we really are. So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this particular topic. And this topic is amazing. It's going to bring some of us into a wonderful place, and it's going to cause some of us to question and to ask questions about it. Good evening, Susie. Thank you for coming. So tonight, we are going to talk about convictions. Not the one where you go to jail. That's not the one we're talking about. Conviction is, the meaning is what you believe. It is so strong that no one can persuade you to change it. It's your belief. It's what you know for sure is the best possible thing you can do for you. That's your conviction. And our convictions has to be so strong that the naysayers, the critics, those that think we're stupid and they don't know what to do with us, figure they can turn us around by what they think about us or what they say to us. But if our convictions are strong, we will stick to what we believe. So when I ask people, do you know what your convictions are? Do you even know what they are? Some people don't know. They hear the words and they think right away, conviction. I've never been convicted. Someone actually told me that. And I said to them, hi Zan, your conviction is not about going to jail. Your conviction is what you believe. Who are you? What it is you believe. That's your conviction. And so here we are. Many people know they have convictions. But when you ask them, what are your convictions? You know what they do? They frown. They make these lines on their head. And they cannot imagine what these convictions are. So if you ask somebody, try it. What are your convictions? What are your beliefs? You might have to notice that they're thinking and they're frowning. You shouldn't have to do that. We should know for sure what is our conviction. Our conviction is we don't want to be abused by somebody else. We don't want somebody to tell us we're not good enough. We don't want somebody to tell us we're the little woman, stay home and do this. We don't want somebody to call you and whistle at you. We don't want that. We don't want somebody to put you down. That's conviction. That is, and nothing can persuade you to change it. Somebody might say, well, you should be a little bit more tolerant. Why? So this is one of the things your conviction is. That should never be. No one should never, ever have to tell you that. I can show you how to master that. That's what I do. Hold your convictions high up and don't let anybody take it away from you. Your conviction is yours and yours alone. Keep your mind and your memory attached to that. Can't tell you what my definition of conviction is. I'm sure you can. Type it and I will see if it's a good one. Conviction is knowing for sure what you believe. No one can take it from you. No one can tell you it's not you. No one can convince you and say you need to change. You need to conform. No, you don't have to conform. My conviction is I want to look good. My conviction is I want to always feel good about myself. So I check my memory, my mind, my body. I look at what I believe. And when somebody steps on my toe, I tell them to get off. Because I don't want you on my toe. My conviction is believe you are willing to die, what you're willing to die for. Well, it is, but it's knowing. Susie got the answer. It's not dying for it. It's knowing it. What is your conviction? My conviction is that I believe, if you believe in God, I believe. That is your faith. That is your history. That is what you want in your life. That is, you don't want anybody else to take it away from you. You know, I can show you how by honoring yourself. That is one of your first convictions. You honor yourself. Convictions to lead you to a happier, fulfilled, and successful life. Your convictions will do that for you. Nobody can tell you your convictions is not going to do that for you. If you have proper convictions, your belief, hi Yoko, what you know for sure is that it is going to make you feel fulfilled. You'll be healthier because you're doing things that you believe is best for you and not because somebody told you to do it. I have very strong conviction. When somebody says to me, oh, you should try it, it's good for you, that is when I just don't do it. Don't do that to me. Because I'll tell you, no, I'm not going to. So your conviction has to be strong. You have to believe and know that nobody can shake it. Nobody can make you feel that you're less than you are, or what you believe is wrong, or what you want in your life is not good for you. And maybe it's too high. Maybe it's too, or you're setting your sights too high. But that's my belief. I believe I can go that high. I believe in myself. I believe I need to take, oh, you can have a little bit of that. You can have some sugar. But no, my conviction is it's not good for me. My family has a history of sugar affecting them. So that's your conviction. Your conviction is that core belief that nobody can persuade you to change. And as women, there's always somebody who will tell you what is not good for you. Oh, you're too bossy. Oh, you're too demanding. You know, hi Rosie, you're too demanding. You're asking for too much. You're expecting too much. Who will do this for you? Nobody has to do it for you. Nobody gives you permission to turn on the stove to cook your dinner but you. And you know that. So why somebody will say to you, oh, you're stepping too high. You're doing something and somebody will have to, who are you going to get to do that? Nobody. I am getting no one to do it but me. I'm not expecting anybody to do it. I am going to push my way through. I believe I have the power, I have the will, I have the determination, and I know I can. That is another thing. They will tell you, oh, you can't do it. And sometimes you have to say, like I said to somebody once, they told me, oh, you can't. I said, I wasn't taught that way. There's no can't in the vocabulary I use. There was no can't in the dictionary when I checked it when I was a child because my father forced me to do it. I made a mistake and I said, I cannot. And he said, oh yeah? And he took his Oxford dictionary and he brought it down. And in those days, cannot was not a word. There were two separate words, one on the C, one on the N. So when my son told me he could not and cannot, I'm thinking it was in every dictionary. Well, guess what? They had changed the dictionary. Cannot is now a word. So I had to tell him, I still don't want you to use it. You know? So the pearl necklaces match the you know what? It doesn't matter. It's not pearl, but that doesn't matter. The point of it is that you make me laugh. I like you saying those things. It's funny. But the point of it is that you cannot let somebody pull your convictions away. You want to be fabulous. You want to win. You have a plan. Hi, Papa P. You have a plan. You are trying your best to stay on that. And somebody comes along and tell you, oh, you're heading too high. Your conviction is this. Somebody will say to me, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Oh, why are you dressing all the time? But I like to dress up. If I don't use it, no. When am I going to use it? Are they going to put you... Do you ever see a hearse and behind a hearse is a wardrobe of the woman? No, you don't do that. You never see the hearse cat, and after the hearse you see a big 1-ton truck full of shoes and clothes and jewelry. You don't do that. So one of the things you have to do is whatever you own, you use it. And that's your conviction. You already spend it. Put it on, and if somebody does not want to see you, all they have to do is close their eye. Your conviction is your belief. Your conviction is what? Hi, Ali. Your conviction are the things you want. Hi, Kathleen. Your conviction is you. And nobody can persuade you to do it. If you want and you plan, this is 2021. You plan to do something this year, and somebody wants to persuade you not to do it, then they need to take a sit. They need to go back. Because you do not want anybody to stand in your way. If you cannot come on the train with me, then stay on the damn platform. Because I have a program. I have a conviction. I am going to win. I am going to succeed. Too many times, women, we give up. And we say, okay, If that's what you want. But no, it's not that what you want. If that's what you want, then you go find it. Because I believe I want this, and I've decided this is what I want. I am not settling, and I am woman, I am strong. I'm not putting you guys down. But this is what we face sometimes. But you guys face it at work. You face it at work. They will tell you at work, oh, you want something, you decide that is what I want to be. And somebody will say, well, you don't have the gift, you don't have the talent, you're not fitting the mold, you're a little bit more here, you're a little bit, tell them no. Say no, I have the qualifications, I have the experience, and I believe, my conviction is I know I can. And so you have to step up and let people know who you think you are, who you know you are, who you believe you are, and what you believe you want in your life. Don't let anybody tells you what you should do about your life. You have your belief, your conviction, you're strong, and nobody should persuade you. That is what they do. That is unshakable. Your convictions in life is unshakable. You might have conviction in faith. You believe in a God. You believe in the universe. You prefer to go under Darwin's theory. Well, knock yourself out. And don't let anybody tell you, well, Darwin was wrong and creation is right. If that's what you believe, that's what you stick up for. And that is why your conviction is really, really necessary. So don't let anybody do that for you. I know someone who did not have any conviction. He didn't believe in anything. He was sitting at home. A friend of his called and said, what you doing? He said, oh, I'm doing nothing. You have nothing to do. No, man. He said, well, I have to go down the road. You coming with me? He said, fine. When they got down the road was in front of the bank where I worked. So he had no conviction. He had nothing. He didn't know where he was going. Your conviction is your compass. Your conviction tells you which way you're going. If you don't have that compass ready, you're not going anywhere. So his compass was off. He didn't know. He got in the car. When they got to the bank, the friend said, you drive. I'm going in there to get something. You sit in the driver's seat. He comes running out, and he tells him, drive. And he had held up the bank, but they found him. So when he came to court, we had to go to court. There he was. I'm looking at him, and you can tell he didn't have a compass. He didn't know what direction he was going. He was just there. And because he was just there, he was influenced, persuaded by somebody else to go and do something he didn't even know. He actually didn't know. I looked at him and my eyes filled with tears. I couldn't say anything. All I know, he was the one driving the car. The other one came in and held the bag. You know what they got? $200 will die. So they couldn't even use the money. And then the money exploded. And that's how they caught them. So if he had his compass headed for his desires, what he believed, his persuasion, he wouldn't have found himself going to jail for 18 months. It didn't make sense. That is why you have to know who you are every day. You have to set your compass to your North Star. You cannot set your compass somewhere else because somebody is saying, put your compass east, we're going east. No, I would prefer to go north. Maybe we can meet in the middle, northeast, but that still is shaky because you're giving in and you're losing your conviction. And that is something that shouldn't shake. Nobody should be able to persuade you to do that. So that young man ended up in jail. Why? Compass was off. So this is why I decided to choose talking tonight about your conviction. When you don't have good convictions, it affects you. But one of the things conviction is all about is your faith, your belief, your energy, how you hope, how you see things, how you reach. What are you reaching for? Your conviction tells you you can reach for that. You can try. If you want to buy a house, you can buy the house because you believe. And your conviction is what will keep you going up and up and up. And people should not take it from you. So all of you here, who has a conviction? What is your conviction? Somebody should have one conviction they can share. My conviction is I don't know how to stop. My conviction is I do what I want. I dance to my own tune. And sometimes I know for sure My tune is not the tune of the crowd. But it does not matter. And if you really want to see me not matter, is tell me my tune is wrong. I might not say anything to you, but I'll keep on dancing to that tune that I have created. And too bad if you're left behind. And what I ask is don't stand in my light. Don't even stand in my shadow. This is what I want to make sure you do. So, okay, Ali, I know it's 4 o'clock in Iran. I'm sorry that you're late. So it's really nice of you to drop in though. So there is a question here. I'm sure that is from Zan. Can my conviction be my addiction? Of course it can. But it is a good addiction, yes. You can, it is an addiction. You are so tuned into it that somebody will say to you, Zan, you cannot be that person you want to be. And you're saying no. And you do everything to make it happen. It becomes an addiction. An addiction is when you see it, you feel it. When you see it, you cannot stop. You're shaking. You cannot wait to get to it. An addiction is that's all you think about. The taste becomes part of your mouth. You can feel it in there. It's rolling, right? If you're addicted to something you want, you're shaking. So if you're addicted to a conviction that you have that I am going to succeed at being something, you cannot ever not have it become an addiction. Because that's all you'll see. It will not be an addiction for the rest of your life. It will be an addiction until you come to that point where it becomes reality. That's when the addiction changes. Because what you were addicted to performing, to getting done, that conviction that I am going to be able to do this is now fulfilled. What will happen though, something else will replace it and you will raise your bar a little higher and you will say to yourself, okay, I was able to do that. I influenced 1 million people. What can I do to influence 100 million people? So if that's what you want to do, so you have to do something different. If you look at influencers on the people on YouTube, they start with one thing. But for them to keep rising, they have to change it. They have to doctor it. They have to find another way. So that addiction of every day coming in and doing something on YouTube, it takes over until they get to that point. But to maintain that energy, to maintain that belief, to maintain that non-destructive, persuasive person coming and touch them, they have to invent it. They have to push it up. They have to raise the bar. Every time, it's like buying your first house. So you buy a condo. You accomplish that. What is your next goal? Maybe you want to buy a detached house or a 2-story house. So that becomes your conviction. You believe you can. You're going to work for it. You buy a house, you have a mortgage, you are determined to pay it off. That's my conviction. And what am I going to do after I pay it off? Am I going to buy another house, a bigger house, or am I going to go on a vacation for 6 months? So all your convictions is what it does for your person, not for anybody outside of you. Is how it makes you feel. And that is what your conviction does. So if you have any more questions, you can let me know. If not, that's what I wanted to offer you tonight, is to understand your convictions, stay tuned with it, hold on to it, don't let anybody shake it, don't let anybody persuade you to change it. Your conviction is your belief. Zan had said at the beginning, you want to die for it? Some people will, Zan. But Susie had a different way she said it. She said, you just hold on. You cannot let it go. You will use every nerve and sinew in your body to keep it or to make it become what you want it to do. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you took a golden nugget, a black pearl, or a pink Canadian diamond. So if you hadn't thought of it, or if somebody has been pushing you lately to change what you believe, or to change your desire, to change what you convince yourself that you want, and they want to persuade you to do differently, or if circumstances at the moment is telling you to change your conviction to something less, don't do that. Hold on, because whatever experience you're having now, that too shall pass. And that is what I wanted everybody to know tonight. So hold on to your thoughts, hold on to your conviction, and don't let anybody shake it up. So have a wonderful evening. And Ali, you weren't late. You were just on time. Patchy, oh hi Patchy. How are you? We're just closing up. So we had it on conviction, and the conviction is hold on to what you believe. Don't let anybody persuade you. I think, Patchy, you had that experience with your daughter. You talked about it a little, and that is what it is. What one person tells you, but you believe differently. Because even in the book, some people are reading, Think and Grow Rich, the man's child had no ears, but he decided he was going to find a way to let that child learn. And he did. He could hear. And they told him he wouldn't hear and he would never speak. And because he believed and he had his conviction and his faith, he held on. And his son was able to do both. So that is the power of your conviction. Don't let anybody do that. Where there is a wish, where there is a wish, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. A wish, Ali, is, okay, I wish I could do that. That is the beginning. The wish is the beginning. The will is, I know I'm going to do that. I will do that. So like, if you have a conviction to do something, Ali, and somebody said to you, you won't be able to do it. Or you're talking to a friend and you said, I am going to do whatever. And the friend says to you, no. You say, yes, I will. That, where there is a will, there is a way. And in that same book, Henry Ford, when he said to them, I want you to build me an 8-cylinder engine and in one piece. And when he said that to the engineers, they said it couldn't be done. And you know what he did? He said to them, I will have it. You go back and figure it out and work 6 more months and 6 more months. And every time they came and they said to him, we cannot do it. We are not able to do it. He said, I will have it. And as you know, the 8-cylinder engine is here. But they thought because he was uneducated, he couldn't see it. So much so, there was a time that they took him in front of learned men with degrees, because I think he only had a grade 7 education. And they started questioning Henry Ford and telling him, asking all sorts of questions, and he didn't answer them. And then he said to them, on my desk, in my office, I have buttons on something. And if I press this button, there are people on the other side that will answer and give me these questions, these answers to your question. Why should I fill my head with that? His conviction was, I will make the motor car become the history. There is history. I can't even tell you. But he believed in himself. That was conviction. Henry Ford showed what conviction is. I will have an 8-cylinder engine cast in one piece. And I don't need to fill my head with all of this when I can hire people to answer these questions for me. And what could they do? With all their degrees, they couldn't do anything. And that is what you have to remember. Your conviction is your strength. Your conviction is what will make you feel good. And Ali, where there is a will, there is always a way. And you have to put that will into you. I will have it. And you have to believe. Then you do anything you can. You knock on doors. You cross walls. It's like the man in that movie, The Shawshank Redemption. He took a spoon and he wanted to escape. But he kept working on it until he got out. So where there is a will, there is a way. That's the saying. The wish is the beginning. When you turn the wish into a will, you will find the way. So have a wonderful evening, and thank you everybody for coming. I'm so grateful to have had so many of you here tonight. And again, I hope I was able to give you a golden nugget, a black pearl, and a rare pink Canadian diamond. Every time I come to speak to you, I want to give you something you didn't have. Something that you hadn't gotten from somewhere else. And I wanted to know that. Thanks, Patchy. And Patchy, I know you had strong conviction about your daughter. So I am glad you dropped in. Sometimes, you know, guys, the angels talk to you and tell you, come in. to go do this. And that, even if you can't stay long, drop in, because at that time, the angels are ready for you to hear something to make you feel better that day. So sending you light and love. Have a wonderful evening, and see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 and at 9 o'clock. 7 o'clock tomorrow night, not 9, 7. So anyway, have a wonderful evening. Talk to you guys later. Bye.